Alright. Are we back? I don't think we're back yet. Wait for it. Alright guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that short break. Maybe got up and got a snack. Maybe took a second to pet your dog. Maybe went to the other room and said, "Hey mom, I'm watching Starcraft. You want to come watch it with me?" Axeltoss is doing some awesome analysis of Starcraft 2. That'd be a cool thing to do. If for any moms watching out there, shout out to you and your children. Make sure they play Starcraft. And they watch Starcraft and support Starcraft. Buy them. Ooh, here's a Christmas present for you parents out there. Actually, yeah, the Christmas present is in the form of the MvP Invitational. Every single day over the holiday break, from like the 23rd to like the 6th, complete rebroadcast of the MVP Invitational for free, 6 p.m. Eastern, 1080p HD. It's gonna be awesome. When you're not watching football, turn on MajorLeagueGaming.com. Also, head to the MajorLeagueGaming.com. There's a store for apparel and stuff. Pretty awesome apparel, like pretty cool hoodies and stuff like that. Great gift you can give. I think they're coming out with a dishcloth that has my face on it, which is going to be about $100. I get 50% from sales, so be sure to buy that. In all seriousness, though, but here we're back in the MVP Invitational. Unseen replays here. We got Bisu in the bottom right, Major in the top left. We're dipping and dodging everywhere. We started off with PvP, followed that up with a PvZ. Of course, the PvP was Bisu versus... who was it? Oh, my memory. Bisu versus Sase. Then we followed up with Bisu versus Liquid Chef, and now we got Bisu versus Major. I'm excited for this one, especially because as a Protoss player, I'm always looking for good PvT builds on this map. And generally I open up with 2 guys in gas and go for a faster expo, but Bisu putting 3 guys in gas here. I want to see what he's looking at, and then decide if I like it or not. What is he scouting out for here? What's he up to with this probe? Oh, he's looking for the natural. And there it is. He sees it. And the art of this is that Major doesn't necessarily know he saw it. See if he can sneak out of there without being seen by a unit. No, Marine is there. So that was a pretty nifty trick. Major was able to spot that probe. Okay, there's a lot of mind games that happen there. So if Bisu sees the command center and Major doesn't know, then Bisu can do some sort of timing, abusing the fact that he knows it's there, like some sort of foregate or something. Of course, this is dependent upon dying the SCP scout. And Major, like, doesn't think he saw it, so he thinks that Bisu has to do something safe because it could be some sort of Banshee play type stuff. Hopefully that makes sense. But Bisu, let's go back to me observing. Bisu, I love you, but you're giving me a little bit of a headache with your fast moving. Look at how fast these guys are. Major slamming that keyboard, 289. Bisu at 232, very impressive. Upon seeing that expansion, I think Bisu cut guys off of gas and took that extra straight away. Actually, maybe he didn't. Which means he wants to get a robo sooner rather than later, or he wants to mix in some sentries. Keep an eye on that. SCV here for Major, making sure that Nexus doesn't get cancelled. What's up, chat? How's it going? Feel free to say stuff. I might acknowledge it. Bisu adding on 2 gates. Warp gate's about to finish, but these gateways are late enough where he wasn't necessarily trying to time it with warp gate finishing. So I don't expect Bisu to do timing, especially considering all the gas he's mining. Wouldn't make much sense to do timing here. That pylon positioning is really awkward and interesting. You don't see that every day. Just placing it right in between the middle, so anyone who wants to walk to the ramp has to go around it. Or they can jump over it, I guess. So yeah, warp gate is done. Gate was not yet done yet, so that implies that this is not going to be any sort of timing. Just going to get some sentries out on the field. Now it's tricky. Probably going to be 2 sentries coming up here. Ooh, adding on a robo. I would love to see him warp in 2 sentries here when these warp gates finish. Let's wait for it. I'm going to call it. I'm going to say he's going to do it. Sentry 1, sentry 2, right now. Boom. Okay, once the warp gates finish. Okay, there's one. And then one more sentry. Wait for it. Right here. Boom. Sentry Zealot. I guess you don't need a Zealot. Oh, warping a sentry. Okay, now warping a sentry. Oh, there it is. Ha! I win. Alright. So the reasoning here is that this ramp is just so massive. Terran players, they have these 2 base timings with Marines and Marauders. They can just push off of stim if they want, just straight up. And even though force fields to deal with that, it can be very tricky to deal with, obviously. Also, some Terrans like pushing when they get medevacs out and stim. So you need those sentries to force field this off, and this is a pretty big ramp. So 3 or 4 sentries is essential, and you want to warp them in earlier so they can start accumulating that energy so they can have more force fields later, if that makes any sense. Adding on 2 gases pretty quickly here at the National Expansion, fairly standard play. Robo getting out an Observer, and he's adding on a Robo Bay. And a Forge. Now there's pretty much 2 paths you can go at this point, generally. Either add on a Twilight and a Forge, or a Robo Bay and a Forge. I personally do the Twilight and Forge. It's just a stylistic choice for me. I don't like Colossus. It's kind of clunky and not very maneuverable, and I like being everywhere with all my units. It's fun. And let's look at the probe count here, because something you can do that's pretty cool is stop probes, like when you're about here, like after these 2 probes, just stop and then add on all your gateways. But it looks like Bisu is just like confident enough where he doesn't feel the need to necessarily rush those gateways out. Let's see I want to see how many observers he makes. Really, guys love their observers. We have 2 observers. Robo is doing a Colossus. Okay, that makes sense. Right when the Robo Bay finishes. Let's see if he gets range, because a lot of Protoss players like just building 1 Colossus and then doing other stuff just to fake out their opponent. There's the Twilight. See if he adds on range here. Not taking that 3rd Nexus just yet. Gonna make sure he's gonna be safe to do so. Let's see what he's seeing. I'm not sure if he walked over that Marine Marauder army, but this is a very typical timing from Terrans generally, is adding on the medevacs and then pushing with Marines and Marauders. Gonna be approaching around 10 minutes now. Now we see Bisu. He didn't warp any units, like not a lot, but he just started warping in Zealots, so to deal with this, which is a nice way to play. Only getting the units when you absolutely need them. Gateways finish as well, adding on a Warp Prism and Warp Prism speed. I'm wondering what he's gonna do with that. Major gonna check on the status of this 3rd base. Let's see how he reacts. No 3rd on the field yet. He has 5 barracks and a starport, so he's gonna be pumping out the bio. And I think Bisu has been able to recognize this. Oh, he sees 4 barracks. Doesn't see the next one. Major could be scouting up the factory. Very annoying with that. But let's see what he does with this Warp Prism speed. I don't even think he's built a Warp Prism yet. Okay. Don't listen to Axeltoss, guys. The Warp Prism is definitely there. Actually, listen to Axeltoss. I know what I'm talking about. 20% of the time, at least. Major, gotta be careful with this Scudgeon. That could die very easily. Gonna try to do a drop on the right-hand side of the map. There's no 3rd down here just yet. Bisu doing a good job delaying that. Realizing there's a lot of barracks on the field from his opponent. Probably a better idea to invest in units and then wait for that expansion a little bit later. Alright, Pylon getting killed there. Drop not able to do much. Bisu doing a great job holding this aggression off. Only getting 1 Colossus. Not adding on range, going straight into Templar. So trying to get his opponent to invest a lot in the Viking. Let's see if Major fell for the trick. 2 Vikings in production, 2 on the field. So yeah, if he makes 2 more, I'll be very worried. But already going into that Ghost Academy, so Major knows what's going on.
Our SCVs are under attack.
Got the Zealot drop in the National Expansion here from Major. The Warp Prism does have speed, gonna go into the main base, but there's a Viking in there. That's the problem with going Colossus and then transitioning into Warp Prisms. Guess what? Your opponent's probably gonna have Vikings, and your Warp Prism's probably gonna die. And that's what happened. So, I love Warp Prisms, don't get me wrong. I love them so much, especially speed Warp Prisms. But it's very interesting, because you're going for a Colossus. You know your opponent's gonna see a Colossus, so they're gonna be making Vikings. So it's gonna be much more difficult to actually get damage done with the Warp Prism. Now that being said, let's see how many workers you killed here. 10 workers killed, not too shabby. Let's go to Warp Prism drop. Was that worth it though? I mean, the Warp Prism's dead. Like I'm saying, it was a great move, but let's just think about if you open up with Storm, or you open up with Charge, Force Fields. Obviously, you're gonna be a little bit more vulnerable earlier on, especially on a map like this. But you're not showing a Colossus, so your opponent's not gonna be making Vikings. Therefore, your Warp Prisms could potentially do a lot more damage. He's even adding on an additional Warp Prism, but I'm completely okay with the way BC did this. Of course, Warp Prism has speed, which does out maneuver a Viking. But Major got a little bit lucky in the fact that his Viking popped out right when the I would have loved to see a High Templar warped in there. Like right when the drop came forward, warping a High Templar just to feedback. It'd be sick. I'd love to see that. You know, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Major got a little bit fortunate that his Viking was popping out right when the Warp Prism got there. think his Vikings might have been over here or in his main base, but like right when that warp was deployed, the Viking just popped out of the starport. So a little bit unlucky there for Bisu. Maybe if Bisu had recognized where the starport was, and then maybe deploy like in the back area, have a better chance of getting out of there. Pretty cool game so far. I'm really enjoying this. Bisu's up 148 to 132. Coming to the middle of the map here. One Colossus. No High Templar. There they are. They're the 5 High Templars. Ghost being added onto Major's composition. Here comes the drop into the third base of Major. Very fancy indeed. Let's see where he deploys this. Still pretty close to the starport. Don't get it close to the starport. Oh, he's trying to attack from multiple directions. I'm going to be tasked as an observer to cover this all. SCV's getting taken out there. Meanwhile, Bisu is there, just straight up got killed. So he has to kill Major here, and Major knows this. Major can try to counterattack with the Marines and Marauders at the same time. Bisu going up into the natural expansion, up into the main base. Major going to try to create some sort of defense up the top there. Ghosts do not have enough energy for EMP, and High Templar is going to storm absolutely everything. Bisu at 129 to 80 supplies. Marines and Marauders still being annoying, so base trade essentially here. High Templar is leading the charge. You don't see that too often. Might need to turn him into Archon. Okay, Major's just going to throw down the GG. Very cool game there from Bisu. What are your thoughts on it, guys? Give me your thoughts in the chat. Tweet at me your questions. If you're watching this on VOD, just sit and enjoy silently, I guess. Or you can tweet at me at Axeltoss. Pretty cool game there. Pretty cool game there from Bisu. Able to take out Major. Any recap I want to do? What did that come down to? We saw a very cool opening there from Bisu as far as opening up with one Colossus and then transitioning. The one Colossus, the main utility there is to help defend against the early bio-scary pushes with medevacs. And the Colossus comes out, as far as timings are concerned, if you go straight for High Templars, Colossus definitely comes out sooner. And it lets you get your Robobay on the field, which lets you get Orpism speed a little bit faster, which I kind of like. So I kind of like that transition. But of course, you know, phasing in that Orpism a little bit further away from the starport would probably be good. What else? We saw Bisu deal with drops quite well. He eventually had to give up that third, which is obviously very unfortunate, but ultimately it didn't matter. Major, I guess, could have done a better job of getting those ghosts out earlier, recognizing how fast Bisu transitioned. But again, that's such a hard thing to do, and that's why Bisu did this build. So, very cool indeed. Take a quick break. I'm going to drink some water, and we'll be back with more analysis of unseen replays from the MVP Invitational. Stay tuned.